Guys, this video is brought to you by our friends at Ridge. This incredible wallet is light, it's sleek, it's industrial, and you already know it's seriously changed my entire pocket game. Now guys, now is the time for you to upgrade your wallet. Check this out. Ridge wallets hold up to 12 cards, plus all the cash that you're gonna need. There's over 30 colors and styles. That includes carbon fiber and burnt titanium. Right now, I'm sporting the 24 karat gold wallet and I love it. It's also made with RFID blocking technology that protects you from digital pickpocketers. It is the best wallet you can buy. And I don't want you to just take my word for it because there's over 50,000 five-star reviews. I will admit I was skeptical at first, but once I tried it, I never went back to my old wallet. And for you guys, there's no pressure. Test this out for 90 days. If you don't love it, send it back. You will get a full refund. If you decide to keep it, there's a lifetime warranty. Go to ridge.com/Chael. Be sure to use the promo code Chael. That's going to get you 10% off your order, or just click on the link below. All right, guys. I am heavily reflecting on Cejudo and Aljo. And there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. Look, Aljo is one of the most liked fighters by fellow fighters. I mean, he is one of the most popular guys in the back. Like, nobody will outdo Renzo Gracie. Renzo Gracie is everybody's favorite fighter. Like, he is the most, but he's the class president. But Aljo's right there, and you want to know why? He's very humble. If you go up to Aljo, you personally, if you go up to Aljo, you see him somewhere, you go up to him, you want to start talking to him. You want to tell him great job. You want to get his picture. He won't understand why. He's that humble. I know he used to teach classes at the gym. And after he won the world title, he kept that schedule. He was still going in, whether it was with the kids, the adults, whatever his classes were, he kept that schedule. I don't know if that's still true. I mean, you just get busy when you become champ. I mean, you really do. Your schedule and your meeting, your obligation, it just changed. I don't know for sure that that's still the case, but it helps to prove a point, and it's very relevant. It's extremely relevant because he got mad. Aljo did a spot. He felt disrespected. He said as much. He said, man, you guys are disrespecting me. You know, what's this about? I come in here, I'm giving you the opportunity that I don't have to give you. I got Sean O'Malley sitting right. I don't have to do this. You're gonna treat me that way? You come into a title fight, a main event. You know, it's one of these things. He wasn't wrong. Henry wasn't wrong for disrespect. You know, Henry's looking at him going, hey, I'm the older guy here. You're the young kid. You got the belt. Because I didn't have it right. They had to go fight. They had a disagreement. They had to go fight. But he was mad. And Aljo said, this was a big deal. It was fast. Most people missed it. It was 2 sentences. It got picked up by a camera, put out on social media. Aljo said, and I quote, and I won't forget this. I'm quoting this. I won't forget this. He said, accolades don't mean SHI asterisk. He said, I will take that Olympic gold medal and I'll shove it up his ass. I promise you that. And he just walked on, and a camera happened to pick it up. And I mean, this is the nice guy, right? This is the good guy of the sport. But it was legit, and he was angry, and it was a big deal to me. As a viewer, as I'm trying to make my prediction ahead of time, it was a big deal because I imagine that Aljo, as a wrestler, I mean, Aljo had a match last year. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. He took on RBY a year ago. I mean, this is an active wrestler. He had to have looked up to Henry. He had to. The ages just line up. The weights line up. You know, college wrestler, Olympic champion, he just would have had to have. So it was a big deal when he said that. When he said, I will take that gold medal, I will shove it up his ass. It meant something. I mean, you're listening and going, okay, have you convinced yourself, or are you attempting to convince us? It's right? It's only a hindsight thing. But as I look back, He believed it. And I didn't know who was winning that fight. I had a text exchange going with a few people, and I reached out to some judges, Big John McCarthy by example. I was like, who's winning this fight? I didn't hear back from him. It was very hard to score. But a fighter will always know if he's winning or not. Now, sometimes the judges don't get it right, but the fighters know in the moment who's winning, who should be winning. Time runs out, who's about to get their hand raised. They know. And Aljo was fighting like a guy who knew he was ahead. Aljo not only didn't try to finish Henry in the last round, he didn't even try to beat him. Aljo was just running the clock out. He was very confident that he had it, and you could tell with his style. Meanwhile, the way Henry was cutting him off, stalking him, walking him down, the amount of volume, the variation of attacks in the last round, talking specifically the 5th round. It was not that Henry knew he was behind and knew he had to win, but it was that Henry wasn't sure. Henry knew it was a close fight. He wasn't sure if he'd done enough to win. Aljo was fighting as though all I got to do is hear that final horn. And it was a big deal. I mean, it was very telling, right? There was stuff about Aljo going into this fight where we thought that he had a bad gas tank. We did. We thought that the tide was starting to turn. This is the narrative, right? I'm saying we, but we thought in the first fight with Jon that when the illegal strike landed, it landed due to fatigue, that he was fading. Then even when you watch the rematch, he lost the last 2 rounds, but he threw them away. He didn't try to win those rounds. It's a very interesting strategy, very risky strategy. It worked out. I'm just saying, because of those things, we drew a conclusion which turned out to be false. Aljo's got no cardio issues. And I have wondered, use Dishalavili, right? Who they're saying is the number 1 contender. I think Sugar Sean is officially ranked number 1, but Dishalavili's right in there and won a whole bunch in a row. And he has weaponized pace like very few. He has weaponized pace, Dishalavili, as well as Khabib, as well as St. Pierre, as well as Islam currently is. And I did wonder, can Aljo hold up? We'll never know. Their teammates will never know. I see Aljo, he looks a little more well-rounded, a little more diverse. But you've got this intangible that you've got to deal with, which is the pace. And the answer is yes, he can hold up. Man, Aljo cut a promo with Joe Rogan. That was 2 minutes after the fight. He was fine. His body had stopped sweating. He was completely calm. He was playing to the crowd. He was handling his business. Sugar Sean came in there. It was great. It was this really great fight by both of them. And I feel as though Henry, right? Everybody has something. But it's really important that they learn what that is. And Henry not knowing if he is going to stick around or wants to stick around. I'll just tell you a quick story, but history repeats itself. I'll give you a quick story on Cejudo. Okay. 2008, he becomes the youngest Olympic champion in American history. 2009, 2010, 2011, he barely did the sport, but he told everybody he was gonna. He kept telling people he was going to. He comes back, he does some match, but there's a lot that happens in there. He comes across some money. He wrote a book. He's doing a speaking tour. He picked himself up a Mercedes-Benz. I mean, things were a little different. He wasn't in the practice room. And it was starting to really upset Terry Brands. And I don't know that Henry ever made it to the practice room. Now, I don't need to rectify that or hear that I'm wrong or I got a little piece of the detail. No, I don't. Not in that. When Henry showed up to the trials in 2012 and ran in to the strangler, Nick Simmons, Henry was not fully committed, but he thought he was. He thought that he was. And it bit him. He found out he wasn't. Now, the reason I bring that to you, we learned that a full commitment makes a big difference with Henry Cejudo. It's not the same with everybody. Use Jon Jones by example. It's not the same. He goes screw around, get a couple of workouts in a week, go be the best in the world. It's different. So Henry Cejudo, who's saying, I don't know if I'm going to retire, I don't know if I'm not going to retire. 2012 wasn't that long ago. And if I remember it, if I remember what happened with Nick Simmons, if I remember the book tour, if I remember the 100 grand, if I remember the Mercedes, I don't think I'd even met Henry. And I know this is off the top of my head. It wasn't fully in. He thought he was, but he wasn't. He left that sport behind, but he went fully in on MMA. Come on. We don't talk about Henry being the GOAT. We talk about Henry being the greatest combat athlete of all time, and he just might be. The difference is whether or not he's fully committed. And I don't have that answer. Only he does. But if he's going to return and he's going to play this game, like everybody else, the greats or not, he's got to learn from history.